This is David Ngenda here, for the Gunman Fight Series event. I'm here with the one and only Viddal Riley, who's just signed with Misfits Pro. So congratulations on your new deal. First of all, how pleased are you with your deal before we get it cracking about tonight?
I'm very pleased with my deal. I signed the deal that was best for me. And if you do something that's best for you, you only can be happy about it, man.
Absolutely. And obviously, you're signing Misfits Pro. I saw the message from KSI says, "Welcome home, bro." It seems like you guys are like being reunited together. Like, how pleased are you to be back with KSI again, do business again with him and things like that?
I mean, it feels good. JJ changed my life. I changed his life. It was a different time in life, pre-pandemic, all those things, but I think it still left a big impact on everybody, left a big impact on the boxing game. The reason why we see the MVPs, the Misfits, the crossover organizations that create boxing wouldn't exist if me and JJ didn't do what we done in 2018. So to be able to reunite with someone who had the success, to then say that he's coming around to the pro side of things, as we know, top 10 ring magazine, British champion, etc., so he's come back round to the real side of things and saying that he's going to help me. There's other people behind the scenes as well. You'll find out more as time goes on. But it was the best decision for me. And in a game like boxing where no one really gives a shit about you, you got to give a shit about yourself.
Fair point. Which leads me on to tonight's event, because obviously you spoke about influencer boxing, and we're now starting to see the emergence of influencer boxing, like Gunman Boxing is putting on his influencer boxing event tonight. You're seeing Misfits, you're seeing MVP. From the time that you've been involved with influencer boxing, how has it grown over the last, let's say, couple of years?
I think it's had its ups, it's had its downs, but I think ultimately crossover boxing is probably entering its biggest phase again. We're seeing a two-time heavyweight champion of the world fight somebody who is one of the biggest names in crossover boxing, Jake Paul. We're seeing one of the biggest names in crossover boxing, KSI, sign someone as legitimate as myself. So I feel like maybe the crossover side of things is on the horizon, but more so stepping on the toes of the pro game rather than trying to be separate.
Absolutely, and obviously speaking on tonight's event, you've got the main event, you've got Rants N Bants, Scott Penders, aka SP, 9 Football. First of all, you come to support Rants N Bants, what advice you sort of been giving him in terms of his fight tonight, and what things he sort of learned from you, really?
I think Rants is someone who has a lot more fundamentals than I expected him to have. I've done a training session with him before. The things that he was saying to me, the fighters that he watches, his experience, was way more than I expected, which made me respect him more for stepping into the craft. I see him recently fight, smoke the guy, so I expect him to do the same tonight.
It's interesting because we usually see you inside getting the action in the ring, but not outside the ring. So perhaps you come here to enjoy tonight. Like, what do you think about tonight's event and everything?
I mean, I like violence, innit? So if I can come through for free and enjoy violence, then I'm a part of it, and especially with people that I respect. I respect Gunman Boxing, big up Gunman Boxing. I respect Rants. Got a good relationship with his brother Expressions as well. So, I mean, why wouldn't I be here? This is it, man. Let's boost the people that are trying to boost their own thing. If you got respect for them.
And obviously, we won't keep it for too long, but I want to talk a bit more about, the future for you. Because obviously everybody's going to ask you, who you're going to fight, who have you got on smoke, things and that really. But I just want to ask you personally, like, from the moment that you became obviously British champion as well back at Tottenham Stadium, what is it you sort of learned about yourself over the last 12 to 18 months, and how much of a pivotal moment was winning the British title for you personally?
Winning the British title was a childhood goal, It's one of those things. I used to sit on my dad's lap watching boxing. I see people with that belt. For some reason, I like that belt. It's not the highest achieving thing you can get in boxing, but for some reason that belt stood out to me. And I said to my dad, I want to get that. It's been a long journey, but I got it. And by having it, you're obliged to defend it, which means you get placed with mandatories. The mandatory is currently Aloys Junior, someone who was talking a lot earlier this year. I wasn't in a position to react to what he was saying, so I stayed chill. He went and had a terrible performance and then has gone radio silent ever since. Next week there is a purse bids for the British title, and I expect him to accept the fight once the bids is put in, because you're not going to speak all of that and get away with it.
Well, do you think, now you're the British champion, like you're gonna be like the like number one headhunted person now in the division?
I don't care if I'm the number one headhunted person or not. The fact of the matter is, I'm back now, and everyone who had a chance to accelerate and progress in my absence, they should have made the most of it.
And obviously, last question for me, obviously going into, any fighter getting involved in influencer boxing, or any upcoming fighter who's looking to sort of progress in their careers, what's the one thing that you could teach them that they can sort of obviously learn from you and sort of accelerate in whatever pursuit they're going through?
Someone who's up and coming, I'd always suggest to them to build their platform, build their socials, and just not be a boring boxer. Like, don't show the traditional lifestyle of a boxer. Have your personality, perfect your craft. That's it.